Soccer's killing it, basketball, of course, softball, and then we can keep rolling. Lex, you got sponsors?
Yeah, man. We actually already live.
Hey.
Hey, so number one, how is everybody's day? What's up? I hope everybody is well. We're just happy that it's another Monday. Sorry we had to push it back, but guess what? Things are opening up a little more. So Jamel and myself, we're a little busy. So she had to coach the kids, but we here now. Bug, say what up to the people.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Episode 46. We are in the building. We almost to 50, y'all. We almost there. But we appreciate y'all tuning in. Hopefully everybody's still locked in and ready to go support with us. We have the lovely Maria Cornelius in the building to MC. What's up, Maria? How are you?
International Women's Day. I'm honored to be here. Thanks for having me in.
Absolutely. It is International Women's Day. But before we get into that, Lex, let them know what's bringing them episode 46.
Thanks to the volunteerroadshow.com. This is the platform we are using to hit Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. All right. Shout out to Orange Mountain Designs. Always keeping us fresh in the Lady Vol gear. The official places, the official places to buy your gear. That is orangemountaindesigns.com. Shout out to Terry Holder. Let her know that Volunteer Roadshow sent you. Matter of fact, tell her Boog and Lex and Maria sent you. All right. Make sure you support. Also, Blue Water Climate Control. Shout out to our HVAC people. Summer's right around the corner, y'all. Make sure your AC is functioning properly, okay? All right. Shout out to, am I forgetting anybody, Maria?
No, you said Tennessee Tap House. Did you say
them? The most important.
Beer. I remember beer.
Tennessee Tap House. We can't wait till we are able to host our first event with all of us present at the Tennessee Tap House.
The weather's changing. I feel it coming.
All right, Bug. So you talked about today and a special day. Maria mentioned it as well. Maria, we are honored to have you. Thank you for taking time out of your night to join us. Bug, International Women's Day.
Yeah, man. I love, I've never really quite known about International Women's Day until really I became an entrepreneur, to be honest. I've been able to attend International Women's Day brunch here in Atlanta. 2 years ago, it was the women's national team coach, Jill Ellis, came and spoke. And I had the good fortune of playing against her when she was coaching and got to catch up with her as well. But it was a phenomenal brunch. I got to take 10 players from my high school team, and they were like wide-eyed. They're like, oh my gosh, you know her? But I think it's great to have a day to celebrate women and, their accomplishments. And of course, being an entrepreneur, being a female in a very male-run sport and industry, I think it's dope because people, women, just the power that we have. Women are we're really creating waves, to be honest. You look at our vice president, you look at, I don't know if you guys, I know Lex, you watched it earlier, but you watched the interview with Oprah and Meghan Markle, everything that Serena's doing, Naomi Osaka, they're both owners of women's professional soccer teams. Like, that's super dope. And they're minority women.
Renee Montgomery, Atlanta Dream.
Right. Renee Montgomery, Atlanta Dream, So it's just like, it's awesome to see women, making these strides and really setting the bar, to be honest. So I love it. How about you?
Man, listen, I'm blessed to be here with two other strong, independent, right, intelligent women who have inspired me in different ways. So shout out to y'all, as women, number one. But like you said, being an entrepreneur, you definitely, it's like, give me my respect. Like, I'm out here working just as hard, if not harder. I'm just as capable, if not more capable. So to be recognized all over the world, to me, that's special, because obviously there was a time when minorities couldn't vote, but women couldn't vote. So, yeah, that's how I feel about it. Maria?
I was born in 1962. Schools were still segregated. Women couldn't have a credit card in their own name. women couldn't buy a house unless their husband was on the mortgage. I love where we are now. And I especially love how women of color are finally being given the chance to show who they are and what they can do. Everybody knows I cover the Lady Vols like you're wearing a Lady Vol for Life shirt. Did I want to see Tennessee in that SEC final? Absolutely. But the fact that Joni Taylor and Dawn Staley, two black women head coaches, were competing for the title Sunday, absolutely love that. Did I see that world in the 1960s? No, I did not. And I'm certainly glad to be in this world the way it's going now. And it's been a long time coming in 2021.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you already kind of touched on it, Maria. So let's go ahead and get our Lady Vol current events in. Obviously, starting with women's basketball. Maria, you were in Greenville, correct?
Yes, I was.
How was it?
It's a good tournament. I mean, it's odd because of COVID. The media, we were pushed back. We couldn't be on the floor, but that's for safety. And I'm not complaining one bit. I was just happy to be there. As Alexis and I talked about, Tennessee had not played on Saturday in the SEC tournament since 2016. Mm-hmm. So it mixed success, beat Ole Miss, and my God, Shakira Austin, she's coming back. She needs to just go on to the WNBA. I say she's ready, but she's coming back for Ole Miss. And obviously, they wanted to play better against South Carolina, but you learn from it. You come home and you get some rest and you get ready to go. And Jamel, I'll let you talk about soccer. My goodness,
rolling,
good,
rolling. Man, women's soccer. We started off the spring season with a bang. I mean, I think something like 18 goals so far. Hold on, wait. 7, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, 18 goals and only giving up one. We kicked off the spring with Gardner Webb, got a nice 6-0 dub. Appalachian State got that 7-0, beat Xavier 3-1, and then they just beat Wake Forest 2-0. Freshmen are kicking butt right now. So it's been awesome to watch. I know that we got a really, really good test this week against North Carolina. So that's always a game right there. Unfortunately, North Carolina was always a stumbling block for us. But it's going to be awesome. It's on the March 13th, which was that Saturday? 15th is Monday, right?
Yes, the 13th would be Saturday.
Yeah, so Saturday, got a nice Saturday early evening game at 5:30. So it'll be on SEC Network as well. So I'm looking forward to that. But they've really kicked off the spring on it. So it's interesting to see because soccer is obviously we play in the fall, but spring has a little bit more weight to it if the NCAA championships remain in May, I believe, or end of April, beginning of May. So if they keep that, how it is, the spring, normally you come into the spring and you're just training. So it's been really dope watching them compete and really play like the team that, we know they can be. But the fall, we were a little bit up and down, a little injury prone. So loving it. And then softball got a win, right?
Yeah, they went 5-0 over the weekend. They are killed. They're 17-1, I think overall. They're looking really good.
Nice.
Keep pushing, Lady Vols. Keep pushing. I love it. Let's check in on some of our social media. Facebook has been really active. Rachel, of course, said, "Hey Lex, Boog, and Maria. What's up, Rachel?" Trish Jackson gave us, a couple waves there. Wayne Adcock said, "Hello, Maria." And Jeff Bertram, go Lady Vols. Yes, sir. Who else do we have? Karen Vogel. And I think this is probably a Maria question. Hey, what about Brittany Ezell being let go at ETSU?
Yeah, that news happened today. I like Brittany a lot. She played at Alabama. She coached at ETSU. Kind of a bad day International Women's Day. That's when you let her go. Come on, man. Do it the day before, the day after. But I mean, she understands this game. You got to win, and if you don't win, there's going to be change. I mean, Coach Flo at Auburn. I mean, obviously Auburn has that job is opened up, and I just hate to see anybody lose their job because it's not because they're not trying, and it's not because they're not excellent coaches. It just sometimes doesn't work. And I hope Brittany lands somewhere soon because she is an incredible Lady Vol supporter. And even though she came out of Alabama where she played, she absolutely loves the Lady Vols. And I just hope she lands on her feet somewhere. She's a wonderful person and was a tremendous advocate of and for Pat Summitt.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. She said, "Will Holly take a coaching job?" Question mark.
I don't think so. I mean, I think she could do some broadcast. I mean, if it was the absolute perfect job, maybe she'd consider it. But I'm not sure Holly's ready to get back into that. That's 24/7, 365. And once you get off that train, you kind of realize how your life was that train for so long. And now she can stay in the game, do what she wants. I never say never, but it's not something I really hear her pursuing at this time.
Yeah. And plus, I mean, coming in after Pat, that was a lot. That was tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I can understand how, it's like, let me just chill, enjoy my freedom, and
for International Women's Day, I mean, a name I could see getting back in the game is the former Texas coach, Karen Aston. I mean, I could see her. There's some jobs popping open, and I certainly could see Karen Aston's name coming up for any jobs across the country.
I enjoyed getting to know her when I was in Texas. I thought she was a great coach. She's intense. I know Lex came down and ran a session with her with the Texas girls when I was still there. So I like her. She's intense. I love, she kind of gives you that energy. Like, when you're in the gym with Pat, she's got that intensity and, that just kind of that seriousness. Like, let's go.
Attention to detail. I like Ashton.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Ashton. Donna, Amanda, Laura Ward said hello to all of us. And I see Laura and Donna ask, "How am I doing?" And how are you two doing? So it's me and Sandra. So in case you don't know, because I can't assume that you listen to every last one of the Volunteer Rose Show podcasts. I hope you do. So if you caught the Bucket 2 MC show, the past couple shows, there were some I missed. And the last two, I don't even think I showed face just because I wasn't feeling too well. Sandra and myself, that's my girlfriend for those who don't know, got into a car accident while on vacation, leaving Disney Epcot, in which I totaled my car. Yes, I'm making it. Every single day is just a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to be here talking to you and walk away with minor, injuries, to be honest. So thank you for asking. That is the update. I appreciate all thoughts and prayers. On a serious note, but if y'all don't see me on social media too much, you know why.
We also got another question. Kenny said, "Lex, do you see yourself coaching at the D1 level?"
Honestly, no.
Nope.
No. I'm just gonna tell you no. And the main reason for that is I'm so focused on having complete freedom, time freedom, right? I just want my own life. Y'all have to remember, I played organized sports from the time I was 4 years old. Okay, all the way until I was around 32. That's a long time.
Sorry.
Yeah, man. You see, talking that shit. That's a long time to be locked under all the politics of it, the time constraint, the schedule. Man, it's draining, and you're away from your family a lot, right? And I'm just at a place in my life where I want to be surrounded by family and loved ones and friends, and I want to do the things that I want to do that make me genuinely happy. and bring me joy and peace in my life overall as a whole, not just for a moment. So I'm not really into that, to be honest. Now, training, independent contractor for colleges, help teach certain things, whether that's as a basketball end of it or the personal training, defense specialist, whatever. Yeah, I'll do that in a heartbeat. But I do not want to be a D1 coach or D2 or D3 or none of that.
You're a college coach, you are never off, ever.
Nope.
Even if you take vacation, something could happen, especially if you're a head coach, and you need to be right back in town. So I tell people, if you really want to go into coaching at college at this level, be prepared to not see your family, not have a life, and spend your life on the road. If you love the game that much, then go for it. But don't go in thinking you're going to live anything that looks like a normal life.
Yeah. Now, granted, you'll have fun. You can still do all the things that everybody does, but it's going to be tough. It's basically going to be like a long distance relationship.
It's hard. Mm-hmm. It is.
Look, there you go. Give insight. She was at Iowa. She was at the University of Texas. I mean, these ain't rinky-dink schools, y'all. So, but how was it for you being a Division I coach at a powerhouse school?
I mean, my first 2 years at Iowa were great. I was single, and my coach at the time, my boss, my head coach, he had a wife and 3 kids, right? So he had that life balance. He was very much like, his wife was like, yo, we're going on vacation, so he very much had a balance. And I think that's a big piece of it is having, a head coach that understands the balance, because it's very easy to lose sight of that balance. You recruiting, you could honestly be recruiting obviously in normal life. Right now during COVID, it's a lot different. They're sitting there twiddling their thumbs because the dead period keeps getting pushed back, but normal life. I mean, at one point, I think my first year at Texas, I went on vacation. I say vacation. I came home to see my family twice in an entire calendar year. And before I was able to come home, my mom and dad, they flew out to Texas. They were like, all right, well, we'll just come out there and see you. But it's a lot. In soccer, it's somewhat year round. Basketball, AAU's huge in the summer. And then of course you go into preseason in September, October. So it's like you could really be on the road every weekend of the summer, plus your camps, right? Your camps at school on campus. Mm-hmm. And then for us, we start preseason first Wednesday of August. So It's like, you're constantly going. So it was tough. And then once obviously I got into a relationship, so it was trying to balance home life and, oh, you got to go out of town this weekend again. Oh, you got games this weekend. Oh, you're in West Virginia and then Kansas. Yeah. So it's a lot, as you get older and especially as you start to build your family, it becomes even a little bit tougher, especially if your partner or significant other, works full time, and then if you bring kids into play, it's a lot. It really is a lot. So you just, I think everybody just has to understand what it entails. And like I said, figuring out a way to take that time to create that balance. So it's a lot. I wouldn't probably go back into college coaching unless it was the perfect storm for me. But I certainly learned a ton. Benefits and all that was spectacular, but nothing worth my peace and my freedom.
Yeah, pretty much. I hope that answered y'all's question thoroughly. But we got anything else on Facebook or YouTube or?
Yes, actually, Kenny actually asked, when are you getting married? I think that was directed at you. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I don't know. There's no date set. We've been discussing this though, for a while. So it's not like we haven't been planning it and thinking about it. Just making sure it's at the right, when we feel is the right moment, to really make it happen. and introduce y'all to the Garbuckles.
Yeah. And then also, Karen, great question. Is there a possibility of doing collective unfiltered with 2MC on a regular basis?
Man, listen, Maria,
I feel like we're already there, low key, right?
Yeah. In the words of Pat Summitt, right? I will quote Pat, who would look at people and say, "It's not about you." And this show is not about me. I mean, I will pop in anytime y'all want me to, but this is Alexis and Bug, or Jay as they call you, and the entrepreneurs y'all bring in, and I'm happy to be a guest, but this show is not about me. So I would say no, because this show needs to focus on somebody else besides me.
But great question. Of course, Maria is always here as a guest whenever we need her. She brings great insight. Real quick sponsor break. This show is being brought to you by Alexis Hornbuckle Basketball in the building, as well as the Gold Standard Fitness Sports Performance. Of course, we also have Blue Water Climate Control, Tennessee Tap House, and Hound Dogs of Knoxville on Peters Road, Just Past It Tutoring, and of course, Terry Helder, Orange Mountain Designs. We appreciate all of you for continuing to bless us with a platform. And of course, our guy Bobby with Volunteer Roadshow. We miss you, Bobby. Can't wait to have you back next week.
Get home safe.
Yes, absolutely. So, Maria, when it comes to International Women's Day, can you speak on the perspective from more or less kind of for you, like you said, coming up in the early 60s till now, can you speak on the perspective, and you touched on it a little bit, of the changes that you've seen in terms of more or less politically, as well as kind of in the sports field, because you've experienced both?
It's been a sea change, and I've been looking up. There was y'all may be familiar with it. I'll come back to that. The former Lady Vol, who's now wrestling in the WWE, and that's when we were talking. I was thinking, when I first saw this story, I thought she'd be perfect for you guys. Her name here when she wrestled, or her name now is Bianca Belair, and I may be mispronouncing that. She was Bianca Blair Crawford, and she ran track. She did hurdles and 100 meters at Tennessee, native of Knoxville. And I was just thinking she'd be a great one for y'all to have on this show.
Yeah, from track to wrestling.
Yes, and she beat. I don't follow wrestling, so I can't speak intelligently about the WWE. But she beat somebody and was champion, and she's doing more fights. And WATE, a local TV station, had a feature story on her. Alexis, she may have crossed Tennessee around the same time as you, but I'm not certain of that. But anyway, that may be something good. And I'll send you a text with her name. I don't have any contact info. I just saw the story, but maybe y'all's network can track her down. She's also a native of Knoxville and went to Austin East Magnet High School here in Knoxville. So, and now she's all over the place in the WWE and signed on, with the major team. And so that story's right in y'all's wheelhouse of former Lady Vol athletes going on to be entrepreneurs. But it's a sea change from when I was born. I mean, I'm still bitter that I could not be a Cub Scout and play Little League, because I was told you're a girl. Girls can't do that. Girls when I tell kids, a little bit younger than y'all even, that say, girls couldn't play Little League when I was growing up, they look at me like they don't believe me. And I'm like, I'm not kidding. We could not play sports. Sports were for boys. I mean, growing up, all you heard as a female was, don't make a scene. You defer to men, and it is a sea change now in how we are raising women and how we treat women. We got a long way to go. but it is a totally different environment now for women in so many places. And I've said it before on this kind of show. Obviously, that path was much easier for me as a white woman. I fully understand that. It is finally starting to turn a corner now for all women, but we still have a long way to go in terms of recognition of Black women, opportunities for Black women. But I am encouraged that this next generation is going to figure this out. But we've all got to keep fighting, stay alert, and be ready. I mean, don't be afraid to raise your voice. As this show says, collective, unfiltered. Use your voice, use your power, and back women every time you can, whether you're the hiring manager or you're looking for different, like as a writer, someone like me, find different voices. It's so easy to stay in your own little comfort level. Find different voices, like all the people y'all put on this show, people of all different backgrounds. That's the key for all of us getting better and being better.
Absolutely. I 100% agree.
Well, do we have anything new in the comments for?
Yes, we do. Amanda on Facebook just said she saw on ESPN that the fan cutout sales for the Final Four will benefit the Pat Summitt and Kay Yow foundations, as well as other charities. Really, really dope. And then Kenny asked another great question. Kenny, man, you were on point with the questions tonight. How far do you really think these ladies can go, assuming basketball? And he said, I think personally we've had an amazing season given the obstacles. Where do you think we end the season? Obviously, we want a Final Four, but what is our reality in your opinion? So both of y'all, give us, how you feel about that.
I'll go first on this one. My reality is Final Four. That's just the reality of being a Lady Vol. I can't open my mouth and say anything less than that because I think they have it in them. It's just a matter of getting it out of them for the entire tournament, staying focused, focusing on one game at a time, attention to detail. It's going to be mentally and physically exhausted. And, right now, if I had to sum it up, I wouldn't say we're 100% ready for what's coming in the NCAA. But if I'm going to bet on a team, I'm going to bet on my team.
Always lead on, baby.
And I believe, what I saw in the SEC tournament was they had some fight. Yeah, we look like we're not a championship team. But at the same time, we fought. We got our butts kicked, but we fought. And I think that's going to wake them up. I mean, it took a ass whooping for our, what was that, 07 team, Maria, in the SEC tournament before we got that.
Oh, yeah. Didn't LSU?
Yeah.
LSU take you guys, was it LSU or South Carolina that took you out?
It was LSU.
Because you came back and beat them in 08, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. In 08, you had to beat them in that semifinal. In 07, you got to Cleveland. Didn't Rutgers take out LSU in Cleveland? Yeah. And then you got that was a wild Final Four.
In Cleveland.
Yeah. It was while we were looking forward to the LSU rematch on the big stage. But Rutgers, that's never an easy game. We've taken our licks from them too. So it was fun. But yeah, Kenny, that's what I see. Was that Kenny that asked that? Yeah. That's what I see. I see us in a Final Four. I see Renia Davis saying, you know what? I don't care what's going to happen after this, but I'm giving you everything I got. I think she's going to try to go for 30 every single game because that's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take. And it's going to take Jordan Walker to continue playing the way that she is. Jordan Horston to stay locked in for more and more possessions because when she brings it, boy, oh boy, is she hard to guard. Ray Burrell, listen, I need a double-double from you. Okay, Ray? I don't know if you hear me. All right? I need a double-double from you every single game. But if speaking from a championship perspective, it's going to take attention to detail. It's going to take a lot of fight and heart because some of it comes down to just scrappy plays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, obviously I haven't watched every game, but it was like night and day between the Connecticut and South Carolina games that we won. I mean, obviously during season. And of course, being faced with South Carolina, having to try to pull out another win within 2 weeks of each other, that's tough, especially tournament time. But the fight that they had in that game, man, I mean, they really me and Lex were on the phone going back and forth, the whole last quarter almost. But I mean, I'm always Tennessee all day. But like you said, if they have that fight and that grind, understanding, when it hits tournament time, it's everybody 0-0. It's a level playing field.
Yep.
Nothing that you did in the past 3-4 months matters. You're there. You made it. All right. Clean slate. Let's go.
Yep. You get to prove yourself. It's like you say. Listen, NCAA season, postseason is a whole other season in and of itself. It's a whole different energy. It's a whole different vibe. Teams that you wouldn't even think could put together games, come out, and that's when you get the upsets. And now that they're starting to become more parity in the women's game, man, if you don't believe you can win it all, just don't even get on the damn plane, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Stay home because you're going to mess up everybody else's vibe that's on a mission.
Thanks. Maria, what's your take on that question?
I'm always the practical one. I want to see brackets. Give me the brackets and let me see what they face. And there was no NCAA tournament last year, as we know. So for the Lady Vol freshmen and sophomores and the 63 other teams that get in,
don't know what it is. They've
never been in an NCAA tournament game. They have no idea what they're about to get into. So
that's a great point, Maria.
That's a good point. That's a great point. But I'm still gonna put my money on my Lady Vols. But I would love to see the bracket.
Got to. Before I forget, I want to shout out volleyball too. They are now 8-6 and fighting for a chance to get an NCAA tournament bid. They closed out the fall season with a 4-4 record and put themselves in position in the spring to make some noise. And they could have they were like 2-4. I mean, they could have just quit but they regrouped and closed the season with consecutive match wins and they've got a good spring going. They lost to Florida, but a lot of people lose to Florida, but they swept Mississippi State and so shout out to volleyball. And tennis is doing well. Lady Vol sports they're just kicking butt right now at Tennessee.
Yeah,
and that's what you
can y'all see this? Can y'all see it? Where we at with it? Can y'all see it? All right.
And then in terms of NCAA, so they're doing I know they're not calling it the bubble, but how is that? What does that look like, Maria or Lex?
They basically March 15th, Monday, is the selection show, and they will not actually tip until March 21st, 22nd. Usually it's the show, and by Thursday or Friday you're playing. The teams have to turn in 7 straight days of negative COVID test. And or if you have any players and contact tracing involved, those players don't get on the plane. You can play with they've said you can play with 5 players. You can't bring 4. They'll actually play if you just got 5 and the whole team goes 40 minutes a game. So these players for this next week have got to stay isolated because they want 7 consecutive days.
That's now, so important. If you want man, Uber Eats, drop my food at the door. Don't just look. I got gloves on. I got a mask. You know what I mean? Because and the problem is, it's just so you never know who could pass it to you. Oh my gosh, I'd be a wreck.
Their own families, they did not interact with their own families in Greenville. They could not even hug their mamas in Greenville because it had to just be tier one people in that bubble. I mean, these kids, what a year they've had. I mean, I just so admire them for getting to this point. And then the most of the games are going to be in the San Antonio area. Texas is also one of the early round host sites, but if the Longhorns are in the tournament, they don't get to play there. It will be a level playing field. They'll have to go somewhere else, but the majority of the games will all be in San Antonio. The team hotels will not be open to the public. It will be a team facility only. All of the meals will be catered. Social distance players can either eat a team meal in a spaced out banquet room or eat in their rooms. I mean, you're going to be a hermit, and you basically stay in San Antonio until your team loses. You don't come home between rounds. You stay put. So it's like I said, whoever wins this, they're gonna earn it because this is an ordeal.
Yeah, I mean, similar to the men in the bubble. I mean, you got to play like, and actually Laura just made a great point, which Georgia's in the same boat, of course, but we're just wide open. I don't know if you guys paid attention to All-Star Weekend. It was an absolute, oh my God. And nobody could go in the arena. But everybody wanted to be here for parties. It was insane, guys. It was insane. But Laura just made a great point. She said Texas also just dropped mask mandates. Bad idea.
Yep, and that's why the players and the personnel will not be around family. They won't be around the public. The NCAA will follow mask mandates. Absolutely mandatory. So, I mean,
absolutely.
So if you ever wanted to just live, eat, and sleep basketball, your chances in San Antonio, if you get to the Final Four, you will have been there 3 weeks.
Yeah, and Laura also made a point that these kids have shown so much resilience this year. Kudos to them all. But you're right. I mean, one of the things that, obviously for this particular year, they don't get to experience what the NCAA, what March Madness is.
Yeah.
The media stuff with everybody, I mean, friends and family. I mean, me and my teammate and another one of my friends, we hopped in the car and drove to Cleveland. We walk in the hotel, we see the squad, we see Lex, we see Heather. And that was a piece of it. It's just like, I got my people here with me, but they don't get to experience that. And, that in itself is, it's different. It gives you a different energy. When you step on the court, you look up, you see your best friend, you see your girlfriend, you see your boyfriend, whatever, mom, dad, grandma, you know what I mean? It's different. So it's definitely going to be a different energy. And I hope that, the girls can kind of, find that zone and lock in and understand what they're playing for. It's going to be tough, but I certainly think that, there'll be a little bit of resiliency, a little bit of fight. So for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's different, but I think they're handling it well. The fact that we are having, an NCAA tournament, but you're right, Boog, it's no feeling like that environment. And even if you can't host, still just having a full arena every single game. It's some of it is just a little overwhelming and unexplainable, but overall it's that rush that you dream of as a kid when you outside and you like making that sound like the crowd goes out. You actually get to feel it. Man, it's an undescribable feeling.
Yeah.
And Tennessee is number 14 in the net. I mean, by all indications, Tennessee will be a top 16 seed. And I see Credence asked, don't you usually host if you're a 4 seed or above? Yes. In a non-pandemic year, the Lady Vols would get to host at home. But
pandemic year, the fact that that's even a saying now.
I know, but now everybody has to go. They have to go to this bubble, and I mean, because they don't want teams playing all over the country and then all flying into San Antonio. Or, I mean, you can't control regional sites, so you just bring them all to one location, and now you've got some control over meals, interaction, hotels.
Yeah. For sure.
And you got to get tested every day. I think at least every day and it's the nasal test. I mean, they're going to be so sick of these tests because they got to get tested, I think, 3 times a week there when they get. I mean, it's just awful.
Yeah. But
if you get one nasal test, you don't. I mean, they got to get 7 straight days of that just to get to Texas.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, because if there's one person that's positive and you're in contact with all these people, then that could snowball just so much. So I certainly understand. I mean, look, if you have grown men making millions of dollars by the minute, by the hour, they can go, I think, what was it? After Russell Westbrook reported to the bubble, it was something like 100 and some days without a positive test. I mean, hey, if these grown men that can literally call up a private jet and be like, yo, come get me real quick. We're going to go in and out. If you can't keep a roster of 12 to 15 girls, just look, y'all, like, let's just keep it here.
Yeah.
3 weeks, and we walk away with a national championship, then we really gotta go. But we got one more question, actually 2 more questions, and then we're gonna wrap it up with some gold standard and Alexis Hornbuckle news. Tony asked, how long will the tournament last? Is it a regular 64-team bracket?
Yeah, it's 64-team bracket, 3 weeks.
All right. And then Karen asked, do the refs quarantine as well? I would assume yes. They have to follow the same protocol.
Yeah.
And Laura asked, what happens if a team fails the test? Do they default?
I'll explain that in a second. And somebody asked earlier, didn't a Lady Vol softball player throw a no-hitter over the weekend? Yes. Sophomore Callie Turner did throw a 5-inning no-hitter. It is the second no-hitter this season for the Lady Vols because Samantha Bender threw one against Central Michigan. Yeah, the softball team is doing very well. And I know OrangeMountainDesigns.com is going to do a softball T-shirt too. I think that's in the works. So absolutely support the softball team as much as you do every Lady Vol team. And as far as what happens if you have positive tests, well, Laura, the first thing that kicks in is contact tracing. Is that positive test a staff member who, and I'm not talking a coach, who really hasn't been around players? Because they keep everyone spaced apart. In that case, it doesn't affect your roster. That person would have to stay behind, and if they were to come out of it and test negative, then they would be allowed to rejoin the team. If you have a team that cannot field enough players, then there will be a replacement team. Like, say your automatic qualifier suddenly can't get to San Antonio. They had a massive COVID outbreak. The conference would be allowed to nominate the team. They would go pick by how they finished to replace that team. And if you have any team that cannot get there, they will adjust the bracket and they won't adjust the seeding. You'll get this, like, say, okay, the 7 seed suddenly can't make it. Well, the new team that comes in would go into that 7 seed spot because it's not fair to the teams that are facing them. But you suddenly pick a team that's much better than that team was.
Right. So
you'll slot in the same. Once the tournament actually tips, the first game is March 21st. There will be no bracket adjustments. So you've got those 6 days if there are testing that eliminates a team to find a replacement team. Once you tip off, it's done. I mean, you go with what you got.
This is going to be crazy. This is going to be very interesting. I think, obviously, with the 7-day window, once people get to Texas, I hope that, everybody can kind of just stay, like you said, in their bubble. And I understand the magnitude of what they're facing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not worth it to step out to see somebody or whatever and risk your entire team, not making it to potentially, Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4, National Championship. It's not worth it,
Plus, you got to go to school. You're going to be doing school remotely because if you're there 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Too. That's a really, really good point because everything's virtual anyway. So, yeah. So, let's get it. Lady Vol selection show next Monday. Is next Monday?
Yep.
Next Monday.
March 15th, 7 o'clock.
Maybe.
What time?
7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Lex, you think we can? We gotta talk to Bobby about some technical things we can do for this selection show.
I like it. We might need to holler at Tennessee Tap House.
Yeah. Oh, we'll be in town too.
We'll be in Knoxville.
Oh, episode 47.
Yeah.
Might have to get Bobby on this cornhole too. I hope he's listening, Bobby. I hope you heard that.
Bobby and Billy, because Billy was.
Billy, we need to get y'all on this cornhole ASAP. Let's go. Maria, we appreciate you for all of your insight and, of course, coming on the show, giving us all your knowledge and insight on everything. We're gonna close out the show. Lex, let them know what's happening at Lex Hornbuckle basketball. NC Rain, what's up?
NC Rain, we are still open for player evaluation. Okay, and if you pass that player evaluation, then yes, we have a few spots open on different teams. Different age groups. Please reach out if you know anyone in the regional area, the Charlotte regional area, South Carolina. We got some kids from South Carolina. All right. Reach out to 704-284-7630. All right. That's the FBC Rain. That is girls youth basketball AAU. Okay. As far as Alexis Hornbuckle basketball, I'm excited because in April, I'm going to start my film review session class via Zoom. Okay. And that is where I teach and go over film, and we'll utilize games from the Women's March Madness, right, to break down the game. So do that so that the young girls can start to see other players, see how they're playing, hear names. They might fall in love with someone's style or whatever. So that's what I got going on. What's the gold standard got going on?
Hey, the gold standard we out here. You know when the sun starts to come out, and like today I was out training. You had a t-shirt on, started sweating. You know when that spring breaks, you know you get a different vibe on the soccer field. You know the gym it's always sunny and 80 degrees in the gym, right? So you know when the sun starts to come out, we start to get live. So I'm starting to pick up obviously outdoors. I'm in my high school season right now. We start our conference play on Friday, which we beasting right now in high school. But the gold standard, we're working on some new partnerships. Me and my better half, Bree, we're looking into doing some kind of like couples training. You know, there's a niche in the LGBTQ community that I think we can hit. Spoke with a couple people this past week. We actually were in a fashion show together, but you know, there's a niche because at times, you know, especially in the LGBTQ community, people, you know, sometimes they're hesitant to train with certain people. You know, you have a very alpha male and they're not really comfortable training in that environment, or figuring out, okay, well, I want to train with my girlfriend. Like I want to step out and feel comfortable. So, you know, we have a plan in place for couples, not even couples, but just people that look like you, act like you, believe in the things that you believe in, to be able to come and train with us. So that's something we're going to be rolling out this spring. You know, like I said, the weather's getting nice. We got some boot camps coming. Got a clinic, 2 clinics coming up in April and May. I'm also on the board for Rent Due. Paid with service. I'm on the board for this nonprofit, one of my best friends. So we have a Sports Plus clinic in Atlanta. So we got those coming up, and a couple other initiatives in the summer. And then, of course, this will be the 4th year. No. Yes. 4th year for my college prep. So revamping that again. Wheels are constantly going. So I'm revamping it again. Gonna do a lot more work in the gym as well as on the field, getting them prepared for college. So that college prep is gonna roll out in May. So just trying to get the prep going for that, curriculum, everything. Like it's gonna be, you know, going. It's dope. I'm watching a lot of my freshman goalkeepers right now, and above. I got a junior Texas A&M. I got a freshman starting at Furman. Beast in this weekend. She had a crazy weekend. I'm watching the game. Like, But no, I'm excited for what's to come. We love the sunshine at the gold standard. So lock in. Quick shout out though, Lex, Baller Magazine.
Oh,
you seen it? Go check it out.
thank you.
A really, really, really dope interview. If you go to her page, Collective Unfiltered page, if you got your glasses or magnifying glass, you can read it. But if not, check out Baller Magazine. It's online too, Lex.
Yeah, it is. It's online magazine. So yeah.
Yeah. So definitely go check that out. Lex, what else we got?
That's it, bud. We ready to take this thing on out. I have to hop off and have a meeting with a couple of my FBC Rain parents. Actually, I'm actually running late. So, number one, thank you for joining us this Monday night via volunteerroadshow.com, or maybe you watched this on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, whatever you did. Press the like button, press the thumbs up, but most importantly, make sure you share so we can continue to reach people from everywhere. All right, Maria, like Book said, man, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for your time tonight. You're always welcome. You know that. What I love about Maria, I'll send her the text like 30 minutes, an hour before the show. Oh yeah, by the way, can you hop on? Yeah, no problem. Unless she's busy, of course. But thank you for doing that on a serious note. And let the people know, Buck, when the next Buck 2MC show is.
That'll be Wednesday night, obviously on Volunteer Roadshow too, 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll talk about basketball and other stuff coming up. We're also gonna have a guest next week. We'll let you know who that is. That'll be a surprise Wednesday. And I just want to say thank you to both of you for having me on. And another part of International Women's Day, I love that you ladies can be out and proud and live your life. It was not like that when I was growing up. And this is wonderful to see. So thank you for being who you are and living your life exactly who you are. Us old women, us old lesbians, we appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you. Us old lesbians.
Thank you.
Hey, check us out. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, next Monday, Lex and I will be in Knoxville. So stay tuned. We should have a very special show for you guys. Obviously, we have the selection show. We will be in studio. And so just tune in, like promise. We'll get the flyer and everything out early, but lock in. We definitely want you guys to be a part of next Monday's show. Maria, thank you. Lex, we appreciate you. I know Lex has to get on a call. To all our sponsors, Just Past the Tutoring, Hound Dogs of Knoxville, Tennessee Tap House, Orange Mountain Designs, Terry Holder, Lex Hornbuck Basketball, the Gold Standard. Did I miss anybody? Volunteer Roadshow, Bobby, we can't wait. And Just Past Tutoring, I don't know if I hit that. But thank you. Everybody have a wonderful night. Happy Women's Day. And we will see y'all next week. Lex, accept.
Remember, be unfiltered in your truth. Till next time.
See y'all. Blessings.